So with solo leveling Arise, we are, well, from when all of this is going down, this time next week, we will be waiting for the anniversary update. Yeah, it's practically here. So we are days away. Now, with all of that, with the anniversary and the developers being extremely generous, one thing that they are doing, which kind of blew me away since this was only just added, they've decided to give us a Transcendent blessing of our choosing. Yeah, so any one of these is up for grabs. Not the legendary, I'm talking about the red border blessing stones. So obviously not only does this help current players, but for new players coming on in, yeah, you'll get a little bit of a head start in terms of getting the best of the best blessing stones, and that's exactly what we're here to look at, and that is to prioritize the better blessing. Now again, some of you guys might be in a position where, I don't know, let's say with pulverize, you've got like 12 pieces of the pulverize. So technically speaking, in that situation, you would realistically hold off because you're about to get the Transcendent blessing pulverize through the special is it special research? Yeah, skill research. There we go. So you would focus on something else because you're about to, sooner or later you'll get the remaining 3. So yeah, that's something to take note of. But either way, we are going to be getting our hands on a blessing of our choosing, and so just kind of want to go over on the blessings that are going to help us out, that are currently helping us out. And honestly, with how the game is and with the current blessings that are helping us out in these current modes, more than likely can transfer over to what's to come in the future content, aka what's to come for the anniversary content. Alright, once again, a bit of a reminder, if you guys do want to continue supporting your boy, greatly appreciated. Please do so. We'll be picking giveaway winners next week. We'll also be doing anniversary giveaway winners, or picking anniversary packs to give out, should I say, to my supporters. So yeah, just make sure that you, if you have entered any of the giveaways that I'm currently doing, that I'll be picking winners for next week, just make sure that you've extended to that way you show up on my list when I do potentially. Well, then again, the Essence pack, I do pick a lot of you guys to win, so yeah, more than likely you might win that. So anyway, just kind of want to throw that in there, make sure everyone is aware of that. Now, a little bit of confirmation so that everyone is aware that a Transcendent Blessing Stone selection chest, so it is confirmed that yeah, it's of our choosing. I think in total I'll pick 5, so yeah, so I'll do, well, yeah, I'll do 5. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I don't want to be fair, I can go on a just a rant on talking about a lot of them, be like, oh, this is good, but I'm just going to kind of limit it. So let's go over the ones that I think will help, I guess, the new players out, and just overall players, just in general, on picking selective offensive blessing stones that are going to help you out, I guess, on a universal basis in terms of tackling all modes. So let me focus on those ones first and foremost. So that is Reawakening. Alright, so obviously with this one, you get that cooldown decrease, of course, again, universally usable on all modes. And I'm talking about Workshop Brain Light, Story, Power of Destruction, Guild Boss, Guild Raid, Guild Boss, there you go, Battlefield of Trials, Dungeons, you name it, any mode, this is usable, advisable to be used, because that cooldown on your skill is highly desired. Get that extra 4% because I think the legendary gives you 20%, so can't go wrong with the extra 4% coming your way. Get your skills at the ready, keep up with that consistency and that high amount of damage. So because it's more so of an overall use of a blessing stone, holds a lot of value, something not to be slept on. Capitalize on it. Obviously, as I'm going through these, just take into consideration with what you've got legendary wise, and with your skill research, how many pieces of these have you got. So maybe your Reawakening is fairly soon to be Transcendent, so that way you can then focus on, I don't know, Bloodlust. Bloodlust is in the same picture as Reawakening, being a universal loved blessing stone, basically. So with this, again, you could drop the enemy attack by 14%. I believe it's an extra, is it an extra 4%? I think it's at 10% it caps at, right? Oh, 12%. Okay, my bad. So you only get extra 2%. There you go. but still good. All the little helps, but it's more so obviously not to just drop the enemy's attack, but to drop their defense. So piling that off with like shadow steps and other means of dropping defense, your damage output is going to be pretty disgusting. But once again, Bloodlust is on the same wavelength as a Reawakening, targeting the Work Brain Light, story, Power of Destruction, Guild Boss, Battlefield of Trials, dungeons, you name it. Bloodlust is feasible in all of those modes in an overall basis. And again, with what I've just mentioned, I'm also considering, and probably more than likely will be usable in the anniversary content to come. Furthermore, with the new story that they've got in line, along with the next Monarch Workshop in line. So in terms of the top two, you're looking at them, Bloodlust and Reawakening. Do not sleep on these. These are probably going to be the two of the biggest blessing stones which a lot of people are going to be choosing from, which I don't blame you guys. I think more so people are going to be going for Bloodlust, which is fine, but if you need that cooldown, you've got your Reawakening there. So those two, highly advisable, because they are universal blessing stones. Now, to be fair, with the remaining three, well, two of them are right next to each other, if I'm being completely real. Sharp Perception. Honestly, I've only just recently really got into using this, but this really, it's obviously for the most part, you know, crit builds are the way forward, and this just really piles it on into, you know, as long as you know, trying to get that more so of the guaranteed hits, or the crit, should I say, of course. So again, 3.5 per 1 time, so you can stack it up to 7 times on for 8 seconds. So again, this will really furthermore push for you to do that good amount of damage. Again, very viable for the Workshop Brain Light. I know that for the Battlefield of Trials, people like to utilize this blessing stone, so if you're trying to get a good time, not to be slept on. Again, good for the bosses. Clearly will be usable for story, because I guess more so for story, you just want to be high on that offensiveness, and this will push that for you. Again, just really also takes into consideration the builds that you've got. Not so much for Guild Boss, don't really need that for that. And I think for Power of Destruction, honestly, I don't really utilize on Power of Destructions, to be fair. With the build that I go with, it's doable, but it's just something that I don't choose to use. But it is usable. But Guild Boss, you just won't need this, to be fair. But it's still one of the good ones, most definitely. Especially with supporting you. Again, this is more so if you really need that crit boost. Can't go wrong with Sharp Perception. And to be fair, the next one, just because of break coverage, I mean, it is kind of a fight between Pulverize and Fatal Strike, but it was only up until recently, or more so for the Baron content, where I really utilized Fatal Strike. But for the most part, Pulverize is, I think, the more breakage universal blessing to help you out, more so in a breakage situation. So again, the power of the break effect that you apply onto your enemies increased by 36%. So again, for the breakage skill, that's going to help out tremendously. And on top of that, you deal damage, well, more damage to the enemies that are affected by the breaks. That's an increase of 36%. So in that situation, and more so for the breakage, there's a lot more to be benefited from the more break power that you get, along with the more damage once the enemy's in that breakage state. Whereas the Fatal Strike, it's more so with the target's break gauge, it instantly decreases by 60%. So it's more, again, when you land a crit, so just bear that in mind, of course. So it's more so of a breakage bar that kind of dwindles down. Whereas Pulverize, well, it's kind of in the name, it's there to kind of just instantly throw a chunk away, and then obviously and benefit from being able to do more to do more damage once the break effect is in effect. But yeah, again, this is pretty decently used. Just make sure the enemy has a breakage bar, and you could make good use of it. It's as simple as that. It just really depends on the fight that you're in, and if the breakage bar is there, then Pulverize is definitely going to be on the list. So like I said, the 4 are kind of lined up beautifully together on yeah, the 4 of the better blessing stones to really consider. And then again, I said I was going to pick 5, so I'm just going to pick 1 more, and Intuit is going to be my final choice. With this one, you just got to be very cautious, because actually I can't, I think I have to pick another one, because for new players I wouldn't say that this is going to be one of the ones that I want to shoot for, because what this will require for you is to actually put a minimum of 220, because it's the Transcendent, of course. So just to put quick maths using the legendary into it, of course, if I took 200 stats out of my strength and put it into intelligence, keep in mind I'm getting like 400 plus MP, which is very nice. I'm also reducing the cooldown, very nice. And when it comes to the attack stat, basic attack stat, I'm getting an extra 1200. Okay, if I took those 200 from intelligence and put it into strength, you would think that, because again I am losing out on total power when I put it into intelligence, you would think that, oh, I'm actually gaining more strength, I don't need this into it. Into it actually is giving you a plus 400 attack stat if you put 200 into intelligence. So you're actually getting more attack with the benefit of having more MP and a reduction on cooldown. So it is very beneficial in terms of it secretly giving you more power and benefiting you in 2 other ways. So Intuit is something which I hope people don't sleep on. I've only just recently started utilizing it in a lot of things. Workshop in light, dungeon runs, not so much on Battlefield of Trials, not so much on Guild Boss, story, and I have actually been using on Power of Destruction. Not too bad, not too bad, I will say. So a bit of an underdog right here, of course. But because again, for the new players, because it requires you to play around with your points on your Sunjin Woo build, if you don't have that minimum amount, then it's, you know, you're losing out on a fair amount of points right there. So I think after that, to be fair, weakness detection, I feel like you can get away with using this in a lot of modes, like Workshop Brilliant Lights. Yeah, I mean, as long as there's a weakness element in play, you should be okay. It's Battlefield of Trials. Oh, I always forget Battlefield of Time. Yeah, Battlefield of Time. By the way, you're still Reawakening is still valuable. Bloodlust is still valuable. Pulverize is still usable. I'm not gonna lie. Sharp Perception is still good. Intuit is, yeah, I mean, they're all still valid for Battlefield of Time. I mean, yeah, you can't really go. I know that with Battlefield of Time, some people do utilize the double-edged sword when they want to take away less on the I guess, I don't know, for example, like if you're not too keen on the whole cooldown, you want to be more on the offensiveness, and double-edged sword does get picked up here. But yeah, when there's no weakness in play, I mean, yeah, that's not exactly going to help you out. Oh yeah, also Mana Rampage. So you got your choices: double-edged sword, weakness detection, Mana Rampage. But with Mana Rampage, it does require, well, it does take up a lot of your mana. So for the new players, I think double-edged sword might be the better end, just because you get the full coverage. Because again, without any weakness pack play, this kind of falls apart. So just to play safe, yeah, double-edged sword. But those are the blessing stones which I would actually aim for. Again, Bloodlust, Reawakening, Sharp Perception, Pulverize, Intuit, of course. And then for new players, don't bother with Intuit, to be honest. Go for a double-edged sword. I think that's kind of how I would look at the top 5. Defensive side. So I'm immediately going to aggressive defense. This is by far one of the better blessing stones that you can really maximize for the whole defensive route. Again, you gain a shield equal to 0.5% of your max HP for 10 seconds, stacks up to 12 times, cooldown 1 second. Honestly, you just can't go wrong with this. So highly suggest that again, if you're in need of any type of defensive play, this is probably going to be a high priority in my personal opinion. Now, talking about shield, I'm going to go straight into these goddamn scales. So with these ones, you can reduce the damage taken, and on top of that, if you have any type of shield play, not just from Sunjin Woo, but maybe your supporters, you can increase that value of an extra 20%. Again, another very good solid defensive survival skill to have. So just bear that in mind, obviously, in terms of if you don't have any support going on or no other shield play, then kind of dud, because you're only getting that damage reduction. But I think for the most part, a lot of people will be utilizing having some form of shield play going on, and so yeah, that plus 20%. Again, you can also pair that up with every other well, aggressive defense. There you go, if you guys want to make good use of that. Again, life is also a fairly decent one. Again, you got the shield play coming in hand. It's only available when you beginning the stage for 60 seconds. It's not bad actually, but you get it's equal to 50% of your max HP. I know that this is also pretty universally loved. I know that in Guild Boss this is actually fairly effective too, so you can make good use of that too, especially even in big boss fights too. I'm going to throw this one in here because I actually love using this. I don't know if people choose to maximize this, but after you do 5 extreme evasion, your defense increases by well, currently on legendary it's 50%, but Yeah, 70%. Yeah, I don't know if people maximize or choose to use this, but I'm not gonna lie, this is a bit of an underdog, bit of a sleeper one, to be fair. And I think it's a bit of a tough call between the next two, because it's between natural disaster, because again this is more so of a team fight situation where you can really help your members, and then solidify to help you get that 20% damage reduction. But then again, I would still cater to the scales with the like all-in-one package that it provides. So yeah, natural disaster just to help out the team fights in a team fight situation. Power of destruction, guild boss, of course, those are going to be the primes. So yeah, I think I'll throw that in there. But yeah, that is the defensive route. Again, I think the way I kind of went with like boom, 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 boom is the exact way of how I would look at it, be number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. So yeah, but that is the lineup of blessing stones on what I would suggest, just from the modes that the game has to offer and how helpful that they are right now currently. But once again, just a bit of a reminder, when we do get the item, do not jump the gun and just immediately go for bloodlust. I'm gonna get it. Wait until and confirm to see if the additional 9 new blessings have been added. If that is the case, we'll have to go over them, do a little bit of testing, and just kind of double, triple, quadruple check to see if they are more worthy than what's been kind of carrying the game for a whole goddamn year. So yeah, we'll have to double check on that.